lending to small businesses can be particularly difficult for lenders for a majority of reasons, and we really use our funds here at the Finance Center to help mitigate some of that risk so that banks are more comfortable lending to small businesses. So the main topic of the programs I'll be discussing today is access to capital and how the Finance Center can help your small business get access to capital. So as I mentioned already, the Small Business Loan Guarantee Program is the main program that we have at the Finance Center. It's been around since 1968. And we've guaranteed over 30,000 loans to small businesses to help them get the traditional financing they needed to grow. It's, a tested and proven product. Guarantee programs are existent in almost every state in California. The federal government has some, but California's has been particularly successful in its lifetime. With the number of guarantees that we've been able to do and the number of businesses we've been able to help. In 2011, we did get money from the federal government to expand our small business loan guarantee program. The state itself got $160 million, and we split that between two different state agencies. So the Small Business Finance Center got half of it, and we were able to use those funds to really expand our program, to reach out to lenders, to get them to utilize the program. Since we had the extra funds, we could support additional activity. Since we've gotten that injection of funds, the program has just exploded. As of 2 months ago, the federal program ended, but because we used all of the money, we were able to keep it here, so it'll sustain that increased activity for a lifetime. One of the themes that I see recurring, especially this month in Small Business Month, is discussion of the economic impact of small businesses in our state. I don't have to tell you folks on the line how important small business is to our economy. I love my job because I've worked with big businesses and small businesses, and the small businesses are the ones with the stories that really make me feel good. So on a day-to-day basis, I'm happy to do what I do because I know that I'm affecting people directly with the programs that we have here at the Finance Center. One of the things that we're really aiming to help here is what I call bridging the gap. As I mentioned previously, small businesses can have a hard time getting loans. There are a number of reasons for this, and I'll share a few of them now. But generally speaking, for a bank to make a loan to a small business, there are a number of challenges. First and foremost, a lot of businesses don't have the business history that a bank may need or want in order to make that loan. Maybe the business is too new, or maybe the business is looking to grow and its past revenues don't support its, the loan that's needed for future growth. Another thing that I see very typically is perhaps the individual owner of the business doesn't have the collateral that the bank needs to support the loan. And surprisingly, the most prevalent reason is that small businesses don't need very big loans. And it costs a bank the same amount of money to underwrite a $100 million loan as it costs the bank to underwrite a $100,000 loan. So oftentimes there's a challenge there to even entertain loans of the size that a business would need, just because it's cost prohibitive for the bank. And we're not even talking about loans as small as $10,000. So it just can be very challenging for banks and small businesses to connect for these reasons. The way that we facilitate our small business loan guarantee program is through 8 financial development corporations throughout the state. These are our agents that work directly with banks, credit unions, and CDFIs to help borrowers get a loan guarantee. So I love working with these FDCs because because I'm located in Sacramento and I don't often have the opportunity to go out into the communities. So the fact that I work with these 8 financial development corporations who are in the communities is very helpful for me. We have one in Sacramento, Santa Rosa, Oakland, Salinas, Fresno, Los Angeles, Orange County, and San Diego. And each of them is very in tune and in the know of the resources that are available in their area. They're also very in tune with the lenders who are making loans in the area and the types of industries that are in their area. Our FDCs are great resources for more than just loans. Many of them provide technical assistance and are micro lenders in their own right. I'll share a little bit about each of them for you. California Capital is located in Sacramento. They're a women's business center, an SBDC, a PTAC, and what that means to you is that they provide technical assistance on a number of different topics. They are also a CDFI, so they do make micro loans. California Coastal in Salinas is also a facilitator of a number of loan programs, both guarantee programs and direct loan programs. My personal favorite is that California is a farm lender, which we don't have a lot of in California, even though we have a strong farming community. California Coastal, does make those loans and is able to help other businesses in their region. California Southern is probably our most beautiful FDC because they're located in San Diego, and they are located in partnership with CDC Small Business Finance, which is a direct lender, so they also make direct loans and provide technical assistance. NorCal FDC is located in Oakland. They are, ingrained with the city and it's in the county so that they are aware of all the different grants that may be available to a business who's starting there. They do make micro loans on their own and they do give technical assistance. Orange County FDC is located in Santa Ana. They facilitate our Small Business Loan Guarantee Program, as well as some of the USDA's REST program. And then Pacific Coast Regional Small Business Development Corporation just celebrated their 40th year in business. They provide technical assistance. They do. They have a couple of revolving loan funds, and they also are a direct lender. Then we have Safe Bidco, who is in Santa Rosa. They have a micro loan program. They also do a number of guarantee programs, and they also provide technical assistance in that area. And then finally, we have Valley Small Business Development Corporation in Fresno, who does just about anything you can think of. They facilitate a couple of different revolving loan funds, so they are a direct lender. And then they facilitate our guarantee program, the FSA guarantee program through USDA, which is a farm loan program. And then they also have a loan van, I guess you would call it. It's actually really neat. I don't have a name for it off the top of my head because it's just so innovative. You can see the van in the top left-hand corner of your screen, where you hop in the back of it, and they help you fill out loan documents and paperwork and get ready to get that small business loan. So they'll come to you, and they do that so they can reach the more rural areas in Fresno County. So I know you're all wondering, this all sounds great. I talked about how we help banks, but how does this program help you? So I really want to, spend some time on that perspective. So let me share a little bit about what exactly the loan guarantee program can support. So we provide an 80% guarantee on an eligible small business loan. And what that does is it tells the lender, hey, I know for whatever reason you're not entirely comfortable lending to this particular business, but we'll cover 80% of your loss. It's a business we want to support, and we want to help this business grow. So if you're comfortable making the loan, I will give you an 80% guarantee in the case of loss. We'll do this up to $2.5 million. So you can have a a $4 million loan guaranteed up to $2.5 million, or a $3 million loan guaranteed up to $2.5 million, or you could have a $100,000 loan guaranteed up to 80%. It really just depends on what's most appropriate for your business. There are some fees associated with the guarantee, but they can be financed in your loan. one of the things that I always remind my clients of is that if you can get a loan without a guarantee, you don't need a guarantee. So that's just a reminder that these are to help businesses that are having trouble getting financing get the financing they need. If you walk into a bank and they're like, yes, here's a line of credit, and you're happy with the terms, by all means take it. It's going to be less expensive for you to get a loan without a guarantee than to have to get the guarantee. We'll provide our guarantee for up to 7 years. It's just the limit on our program to help you grow and evolve out of the program. It's our goal every time we make a guarantee that the next loan you get doesn't need one. Um, we consider a small business anything under 750 employees. This is a federal requirement, and it actually makes me giggle sometimes because I don't think I've ever done a loan for a business that had anywhere near this amount of employees. I've never had to sit and calculate the employees. Most of the ones that we do are 10 employees or less. And then finally, we're only going to support loans if the loan proceeds are used in California. It's a California-based program. We want to make sure that the economic impact of the loan is in our state. We will support loans for a number of different purposes. We can do business acquisition. In certain situations, we can do goodwill. We can do new construction, renovation, tenant improvements, inventory, business expansion, purchase equipment, working capital, lines of credit. There's really not a whole lot we can't do. We have some limitations on, repayment of delinquent taxes. If your business is in the activity of gambling or relending, we may have concerns and may not be able to help. But generally speaking, we can support just about any business purpose of a loan. So then there's 4 quick steps in order to get involved in the guarantee program. So follow along with me because it kind of goes both ways. So either you can contact an FDC, one of the 8 that I explained earlier in the presentation, and share with them some of your financing needs, and they can help you find a bank that would be willing to make the loan. Or you can contact the bank. So maybe you already have a good relationship with your community bank and you want to share with them, some of the benefits of the guarantee program. You can do that as well. I spend most of my day talking to banks, explaining to them how the guarantee program works and connecting them with the appropriate financial development corporation to underwrite their guarantee. So we're really flexible about how you access the program because there are lenders who haven't heard of our program, so this is a way to get the word out. Maybe you really like your bank and you want to stay with them. We're happy to get them involved in the program so you can continue that relationship. Finally, you've connected with an FDC and a bank, and the bank is comfortable making you the loan. The FDC will then go and guarantee the loan for IBank. And then I use part of my pool of money to set aside a reserve to cover that guarantee should there be a loss. So we've had some pretty amazing success stories recently that I wanted to share with you. Our 1,000th loan in our federal program, the SSBCI program, was to a business called Modern Twist. They are located in Emeryville, California. And it's one of the type of growth scenarios that I had mentioned before. So Kat and Nori had created a green product to give to your kids. So it's like a placemat where you can put their food on it, but you don't have to worry about chemicals, and it's washable, and it's not disposable, and it's just this really great product. And she was doing very well, but the demand for her product was greater than she was able to satisfy. So when she went to a bank to get funding, they said, well, you don't have the profits in your last 2 years to support the amount of money you're asking for these next 2 years. So we were able to support a loan, 2 loans actually, totaling $450,000 that was going to encourage her to hire 6 full-time people, and we gave the guarantee. So she was able to use those funds to then create another product line to increase her revenues in the future. So it was a really great example of a growth opportunity that she may not have had if the guarantee program didn't step in and guarantee her loan. The next one that we worked on that I'm really proud of is LA Kitchen. This is actually a very interesting business. What they do is they they get people to donate food from either restaurants or from supermarkets, hospitality businesses, and they take that food and they facilitate like a culinary school for disadvantaged youth, and then they feed that food to the homeless. So the challenge here is that it's a nonprofit. Nonprofits are notoriously difficult to finance for banks for a number of reasons. One, they're a nonprofit, and banks base their repayment ability on profit. So it's just kind of a catch-22, if you will. But we thought this was a really great project. We wanted to support this. There's a DC kitchen, which has been very successful. We wanted to bring this to California, and now it's a $10 million operation. So we were really happy to be involved. This particular loan was a term loan of $2 million for startup costs and tenant improvements just to open LA Kitchen. It created 80 jobs, and hundreds of students have already gone through the school, so now they have those skills to go and get jobs in the community, and at the same time they're feeding meals to homeless folks. So it doesn't really get any better than that as far as all of the layered benefits of this particular transaction. And then finally, the last one I wanted to share with you was a business called French Press in Santa Barbara. This particular transaction was supported by our FDC in Salinas with American Riviera Bank. And French Press was, a very successful coffee shop in Santa Barbara, but they just, they needed to grow. So we were able to support a $350,000 term loan for tenant improvements and equipment. It created 15 jobs. And, as a foodie in California, I love, when our locally owned coffee shops can grow and expand. And again, this is a difficult loan for a bank to make. It's not very large. It's a growth loan. It's a food business. All of the negatives that a bank looks at, we look at as a positive, as something that we want to help and something that we want to encourage to expand. And then finally, I just wanted to switch gears from the loan guarantee program. I had mentioned earlier that being a part of the Finance Center means that we have the opportunity to innovate. And we've done that recently. Yesterday, we announced the launch of our Jumpstart program. And Jumpstart is actually a direct lending program where IBank is the lender. And we really aim to help those very small loans for those, initial startup businesses. So in order to be eligible for this program, you must be a low-wealth entrepreneur located in a low-wealth community, and these loans are between $500 and $10,000. So we're really looking to help entrepreneurs get licensed, get that initial first step to come into business. Maybe you want to sell on Amazon. We want to help you with your first inventory purchase. So this is really the types of loans that banks are definitely not making, and even CDFIs have trouble sometimes making loans this small or making loans to completely brand new startup entrepreneurs. So in order to access the Jumpstart program, we are partnering with 5 of our FDCs in order to provide technical assistance and underwriting for the Jumpstart loans. So the ones that we're partnering with are in Fresno, so that's Valley Small Business Development Corporation, Sacramento, California Capital, LA, Pacific Coast Regional, Salinas, Cal Coastal, and NorCal in Oakland. One of the things that I do recommend is if you don't think you're low wealth enough or you don't think you're located in the right area, I recommend reaching out to these folks anyway. As I mentioned previously, they are all already micro lenders in their own right. So this just adds another tool in their arsenal to help you get that startup financing that you need to be successful. So at this time, I'm happy to open it up for questions. And if you just give us a moment, we will just double check the chat to see if we have any particular comments. Perfect. Okay. So then I do have some questions, and I will read them and then I will answer them. And if you think of anything, feel free to type it in the chat box. So the first question is, if a lender can get a loan guarantee from the state, does that mean any business qualifies and can't be turned down? So the answer is no. The loan guarantee program really does its best work in partnership with lenders. So lenders are required by their regulators to follow certain underwriting criteria. Our loan guarantee is here to help them overcome deficiencies in some of the underwriting, but not all. So, very plainly put, we're not here to make a loan that shouldn't be made get made. We're here to help a loan that is borderline become a yes loan to the individual. Okay, so the next question is, does this program ensure I will get a better interest rate on my loan? That's an excellent question, and the answer is no. The program is to help you get financed where you wouldn't be financed otherwise. So as I mentioned previously, if you've got a reasonable interest rate and someone's willing to make you the loan, take it. There are fees associated with participating in the guarantee program that you don't have to pay if you don't need a guarantee. So it doesn't affect the interest rate per se, but it really helps you get financing where you wouldn't get it otherwise. This next question, 750 employees doesn't really sound like a small business. I'm a business with 2 employees. Is this program right for me? And the answer is absolutely. As I mentioned previously, I've worked in government credit enhancement for 5 years, and never once in any of the programs that I worked in have I ever had to count somebody's employees to make sure they weren't over 750. I mean, maybe one time I had a business with a lot of different affiliated businesses because they had an investor and we got up to 300 employees, and that was probably the most exciting I've ever gotten. I've never had to count up to 750. Most of them are 1, 2 employees, maybe 10 or 15. The 80 employees with LA Kitchen was huge for us. I believe there was 15 employees for French Press. That was one of the bigger loans that I've worked on. So no, 750 is absolutely not a goal. So if you only have 1 or 2 employees, you are absolutely the borrower that we are wanting to work with. So the next question is, if a private investor, not a bank, invests or makes a loan, can it be backed by IBank? So at face value, the answer to this question is no. We are able to support loans made by banks, credit unions, and CDFIs. A CDFI stands for Community Development Financial Institution, and it is a non-bank lender. So I like to think of these as folks who make loans but don't hold my checking account. But to answer your question, there are creative ways that you can work with a private investor that partners with a CDFI, and then we can guarantee the loan. So, feel free to call me on that if you want to talk more specifically. The straight answer is no, but the more exciting answer is possibly. It just depends. Sorry, I'm just reading one more question. Can you expand on what you mean by online services company? And while you do that, I'll take another question. The next question is, can I have more than 1 loan guaranteed at a time? And the answer is yes, as long as your aggregate loan amount and your aggregate guarantee amount don't conflict with any of our maximums, you can have multiple loans guaranteed at the same time. And the next question is, can I use the Jumpstart program for equipment purchase? And the answer is yes. We absolutely would love the Jumpstart program to be used for equipment purchase, especially a piece of equipment we can take a lien on. That just increases our repayment ability. And Jumpstart is a new program, so we are really hoping that it is successful. And part of its success not only is reaching the communities and the individuals we're hoping to reach with that program, but to also be repaid so we can revolve the program and continue to use it in the future. Okay, so an online services business. We would definitely be able to support an online services business with this program. We've actually done a couple, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, some that we've done. It's been a while. It's not something that comes up very often, but we have supported technologies. Most recently, we did a loan for a company that created an app, and the app helps you find ride sharing. So that's acceptable. There's nothing about an online services or an application technology that wouldn't be acceptable. It could be online coaching. It could be a vlog. It could be maybe a dating site, if you will, as long as it wasn't anything too salacious. That would be something we would be open to. It's a bridge we haven't crossed many times, but it's definitely something that we can support as long as it's a legitimate business and it's organized as a business. Excellent. So we do have a question on how do you define a low wealth business and or community. So we have these definitions on our website. If you go to the Small Business Finance Center, Jumpstart is the first program that's listed at the top. We are basing this initial area for the Jumpstart program on two things. One, the individual has to be a low wealth entrepreneur, so they have to make equal to or less than the state average annual per capita income for the last year. And then as far as the area is concerned, we've limited it by certain counties that have what we consider low wealth for their county annual average per capita income. Forgive me, these are very long definitions. And then within those counties, you must be located in an area of high unemployment. So we will have lists of areas that are eligible, but as I mentioned previously, I would reach out to your closest financial development corporation if you're interested in the Jumpstart program. They're all micro lenders, and they may be able to make a loan to you, regardless of whether or not you fit into Jumpstart. The Jumpstart program is only supposed to be used by them if they can't make a loan to them already. So it's really supposed to help that niche market that's having issues getting financed. Okay, so then the next question is, what types of folks is the Jumpstart program supposed to help? And this is a great question as well. When we created Jumpstart, not only were we hoping to target low wealth communities and low wealth entrepreneurs, but we really are hoping to target minority-owned, women-owned businesses, those entrepreneurs who are disabled, veterans, all veterans, not just disabled veterans, and those folks that are previously incarcerated. So these are all, folks that may have barriers to work. We want to help them possibly, feed their entrepreneurial spirit. If that's the direction that they want to go. And since these are communities that typically tend to have issues with generational wealth, we wanted to help jumpstart them into their own business. And then the next question is, what if my lender doesn't participate in the program? And that's a good one as well. I talked about that a little bit earlier, but as I mentioned, if you have a lender that is interested in making a loan to you, but is having some challenges they need to overcome, send them my way. Megan will send out my contact information to everyone after. You're more than welcome to call me directly. I talk to banks every day about utilizing the program. Sometimes they need to hear it from me. Sometimes I connect them with some of their other lending partners so they can talk to a friend who's used the program. Just to help them feel more comfortable getting involved. And I'm definitely here for that. It doesn't look like we have any more questions, but I'll give it a few more minutes. Feel free to take this opportunity to ask your last question.
Okay, I don't see any more questions coming through. So at this point, this concludes our webinar. So I want to thank Emily as well as all of you participants for joining us today. The slides and the audio of this presentation will be posted to the GO-BIZ website. I will notify all registrants by email once they are posted. And please join us for upcoming webinars each Wednesday this month at 10 a.m. So for more information and to register, you can visit calismallbizmonth.com. Thank you for joining us.